Hello. Unless technology decides to cooperate this time, or lack of cooperation this time, welcome to the Husky by Blue podcast, everyone.
Yeah, we're back
Yeah,
live
yeah,
together.
both of us. Two,
One place.
one place, one.
Geekville.
Yeah, wherever Geekville is. I mean, we are in a physical location, but
All I see is bars outside the window.
that is not a good look for me. Anyway, not that I deserve that. I don't deserve to be locked up yet. I haven't done anything yet.
And, things shit happen. Anyway.
Well, thank you for your patience for us. I mean, life happens and things happen.
Yes.
But we're here and we're back at it, recording, even with technical difficulties. But we're here and we're trying to make the best of it. So thank you again for watching and listening. And before we continue, we do have to, pay our respects to those who are no longer with us. And as of recording time last night, one of the greats parted to the great beyond. That would be big George Forman. He was what, 74?
76.
76. Other than George Foreman Grill, which is, aforementioned, and everybody knows what the George Foreman Grill is. Yeah, good grills, by the way. Yeah, very good grills. He was a 2-time world heavyweight champion, fought the best of them back in the day, and would take you to meet Jesus in 2 punches. Real quick. Just 2 punches. I mean, I've seen videos of him hitting the sandbag, and the guy holding the sandbag was floating in the air every time he landed a punch. Because the dude has just had monster power. Monster power. I do think that they did a movie of his life like a couple of years ago, right? It didn't go nowhere because I don't recognize the actor. They didn't hire someone very known. But then again, that was kind of the deal when you were doing a movie that's basically more religious than anything, because it countered to the fact of his religious beliefs. And back in that day, it wasn't such of a popular thing, not like it is now, because now we got like it shows like The Chosen or House of David, where like God is making a comeback for pop culture, and people are more interested in godly things. I mean, even Bibles are, well, look, a few that I got here in the back. I heard like Bible sales. I mean, Bibles are always been the most selling books in history, always, to the point that they don't even count it anymore. Yeah, they don't even, because they say it's not fair.
Why?
Because they're just like, for example, if the most selling book is like a million copies sold, the Bible is like a billion. It's always like an exaggerated amount, so they're like, we're not even going to count it because it's not even fair. It's not even fair. Bibles are like and plus also in the English language, there's an embarrassment of riches, because there's over 200 translations of the Bible in English alone, just in English. And you got like 10 or 15 popular versions that there are like the go-tos in English, which is most in other languages, because other languages have like maybe 1 or 2, whereas English has like an abundance of translations. And we're only talking about like the Protestant versions. We're not even talking about the Catholic ones. So
I get it.
I'm sorry for dealing with theology stuff here. Anyway, all that to say, God is making a comeback in pop culture now. And George Foreman's story, it was a little ahead of its time, because he found God, and he was a very religious man. And unfortunately, he passed away. For what I read, he passed away peacefully with his family in bedside. What I read, so it wasn't something, horrifying. It's just all his family was there as he passed. So, big bucket of win for Big George, and you had also mentioned before
Yeah.
another very sad passing.
Sad passing. Like I mentioned before, we got cut out with the other podcast. Minutes before coming to record, one of the longtime Yankees who is no longer on the team, but Brett Gardner's son Miller passed away at the age of 14 in sleep. They said he fell to an illness while they were on vacation, and that's all they gave us. So prayers to go out to his family, and like I said before, time heals, but this one cuts a little deeper due to the fact that you don't want to bury your kids; you want your kids to bury you. So, yeah. So prayers go out to his family, and wish them all well, and hope they can find peace soon.
Yeah, I mean, as a father of a 13 going on 14-year-old, I cannot even imagine or entertain the thought of what that man must be going through right now. Having such a young kid passing away.
That was his youngest too.
Yeah, so it would. I mean, something would happen to my little girl that would totally mess me up. I cannot imagine what he's going through. So yeah, heart prayers for him and his family at this difficult time. So let's end the downer stuff. Let's go into the more lively stuff.
Yes.
And as we said before, technical difficulties. Our bread and butter has been for the past month wrestling, and a very popular thing right now because wrestling is killing it right now.
We also got WWE on the Netflix deal. We also got WrestleMania coming up.
So we're on the road to WrestleMania right now. WWE is getting all the little ducks in a row, leading all their storylines to the promised land, which is WrestleMania. And right now we have our storyline with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. And speaking of CM Punk, that video that we were talking about of CM Punk wrestling this weekend in Europe versus Gunther, aka formerly known as Walter, who if you know anything about Gunther, he has this one specific move that he will chop you. But I mean, I've seen some wrestling chops before. Like Ric Flair had a good chop. He who should not be named Benoit had another good chop also back in the day. Although we don't talk much about him because reasons.
But he threw his whole body into it.
Yeah,
Gunther's not doing that.
Gunther is a whole different animal. He is an old different being. I mean, this man will reset your hard drive and leave it in factory settings. This man will snatch your soul and reset you back to when you're in your mother's womb. Basically. And he chopped CM Punk so hard that once that man hit the ground, first he started laughing. And you'd be like, "What? Why is he laughing?" Well, like, have you experienced pain so hard that you just start laughing? Because your brain does not know how to interpret the pain that you're in suffering right now. So it goes to a mechanism of laughter. And as soon as he starts laughing, he looks at the ref and he starts tapping and like, "I'm done." Like, take me home now.
Like, I quit, I forfeit.
Like, no, look, this match will not continue. This match will not continue.
Well, if things go as planned, it will. Scary.
Yeah, I know. You just found your new boy. When I saw you that video, I'm like, I just found my new avatar. I just found my new avatar. And man, if it would have been Beefy Gunther, would have snatched that soul real quick. Like Undertaker, we should have come out popping out real quick. Like, hey, that's my gimmick. I'm the one that snatches souls around here. Like, do you want that snap? Like, no, I'm retired now. No. Leave that alone.
Maybe.
I'm retired now.
Maybe.
I don't want that smoke. I'm too old to get that smoke.
Maybe he's still retired. We don't know.
I'm in my 60s now. That's he's close to getting a pension now, man. That's pretty close, man. That Social Security benefits are right at the door. That 401k is just looking beefy right now.
It's funny. Did you hear what these guys got to do?
For what?
So I watched this thing on Instagram, and this guy was like explaining how, say, like you make a contract of like you getting paid like $10 million. So some of that goes to your agent, and then you have to pay like wherever you go. If there's a state income tax, you have to pay that. So if you go down to like Texas, you don't have to pay the taxes of what you made there. But like if you come to New York, because you're like a wrestler, or I think it might work for wrestling, but I know like for like basketball or like baseball players, they have to pay the income tax because they were working in that state.
That's crazy.
So that $10 million by the time you're done, by the time you pay taxes for everywhere you played, and then
I mean,
you're probably paying your agent and paying the taxes on your income. Like you're left like with maybe not even $1 million.
I mean, that's where you got to talk to Otani and
Well, I'm just saying, like this is what sports people go
Soto,
through. Like
and Soto. I know how. Let it go. It's done. Let it go.
You ever heard of the phrase that George Lopez used, FTP?
No, but let's not expound about that because I heard the F in there immediately.
You know what the F is?
Yeah.
That in the bad word in Spanish that starts with a P. But use the O at the end of it. No. Ooh.
Okay.
You never watched that George Lopez?
No. But I get it now because he's Chicano, so I would understand
So
why
you
he
have
the PUTA.
You gotta watch that one. Why You Crying? It's the name of this thing. It's the most funniest stand-up.
Is that George Lopez, bearded George Lopez?
No, that's George Lopez, young George Lopez.
Oh, so he was clean shaven back then because now George Lopez is like got this hobo look.
That dude, like I just watched.
He got that hobo look now.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I don't know what year it came out. It's on Prime. A stand-up that he did. Me and my wife watched it the other day, and we were like, "Wow!" And then I looked up his age. I'm like, shouldn't be looking that old.
I mean, he letting himself go now. Like, I don't know. Well, I guess, I'm not going to pry.
NBC is still paying him to do George Lopez versus Lopez with his daughter. So, hey.
Yeah, to each his own, I guess. To each his own.
But anyway, yeah, it's crazy. Like, what they go through. But anyway,
yeah, you still want to snatch CM Punk's soul. That's basically
he gonna die today. But anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, I mean, all right.
Storylines, WrestleMania
storyline. Yeah.
We still haven't found out if there's gonna be that third person yet, right?
Yeah, I mean that was speculation on my end, but I don't know where that storyline gonna end up because Rock is nowhere to be shown. Let's talk about a little bit about that because Cena made his first comments on Monday since turning heel after he field goal Cody's nards.
That crying stuff that he was doing in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
That bitch like move.
That BITCHing.
Bitch, you can say on TV. You can say it.
Oh, you say it. I won't.
That bitching that he was doing in the middle of the ring. You got that. Wah. Shut your mouth.
Well, do you understand that he's playing his part?
Yes,
right?
But still, that pissed me off when I saw it.
Well, mission accomplished. That's exactly what he's supposed to be doing. That's mission accomplished then.
Cody kicks him in the noggers.
Well,
Anyway.
that's what he did to Cody. He field goal his nards.
And I hope he field goals his and more.
That was a punt for the ages, right?
You should call McAfee to do it for him because
Dude,
McAfee was a punter.
That was an MJF punt right there. MJF is kind of an expert on kicking field goals in the nards.
MJF?
Yeah, from AEW.
Oh, well,
that's kind of his thing.
Well, if you ask McAfee to do it because he was a punter back in the day.
No, that's when you want to be chemically castrated.
So,
like you want to make sure dude will never have kids. Can we get McAfee?
Can we make sure Punk is part of that too?
I think he already does it by choice because he's already 46 and he ain't had no kids.
Yeah, but I want to see that pain on his face again. Anyway,
oh my lord.
So what's going on here?
Okie dokie. Let's talk about Mark Henry going to DR.
Oh yeah, now Mark Henry is Dominicano now.
Yeah, he's been aplatanado. He has platano power going through his veins now. He did a podcast in DR. Shout out to La Polemica podcast in DR, who snatched that interview with Mark Henry in DR.
You're gonna try to put their link on that.
Yeah. Do remind me that. Where he talked about the Dominican cuisine. And also, he talked about Jack Veneno, too.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, Jack Veneno is worldwide now. He's worldwide.
Well, he's worldwide with us because he's been mentioned on this podcast.
Yeah, he's worldwide. He's worldwide. Anyways, he was talking about like he had chicharrón.
Oh.
So if you don't know what chicharrón is, you have not lived yet. You have yet to live.
Tell him about his favorite dessert.
No, he was talking about dessert. He was like, "Oh, I love this chocolate dessert you guys make." And the Dominicans were like, "Chocolate dessert? Yeah, it has beans on it. Beans?" It's like, "Oh, habichuela con dulce." Yeah. It's like, "Oh, that's exactly what they call it." Oh, it was like, "Oh, that thing is so good. It's chocolate right now. No, I ain't got no chocolate in it." Like, what do you mean got no chocolate? Why it tastes so good? It's like, that's beans, some water, some milk, sugar, and cinnamon. That's it. That is basically it. It's like, just with those things, that thing tastes so good? Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you, Lord. He was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus.
Thank you, baby Jesus. Woo! I'm telling you, once you hit that habichuela con dulce, like you, especially now, these are the days when they make them a lot because it's when and Holy Week. That's when in DR, like every house be having that right now near Holy Week, and especially Holy Week, like and Good Friday. That's what you eat. That's all you eat on Good Friday. That's all you eating on Good Friday. So you know there gotta be a lot of beefy Dominicans on that week. A lot of chunky Dominicans, a lot of husky Dominicans.
You see Dominicans on Easter around
with
Easter
that
time,
giant bowl
and then,
giant belly,
and then the rest of the year.
Yeah, because that weekend everybody's just like, oh, let me get some of that. And then they were introduced to then Mark Henry was introduced to the delicate Dominican cuisine of Los Tres Golpes. Mangú, salami, eggs, fried cheese,
queso frito.
Oh yeah, fried cheese. So the man was like, "Oh, we having that." When they told him about it, "Oh, we having that."
Are we done?
Like as soon as we done, as soon as the podcast is over, we're gonna have that.
You know what? I say it's ending now. Let's go.
And then he was like, "But what's mangú?" It's like that's smashed plantains. Oh Lord Jesus, we having that right now. We having that right now.
I know. I used to throw butter in.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yeah, throw some butter in that thing.
No, and also stir-fried onions.
And the mangú?
Yeah, on top of the mangú.
I never did that.
Yeah, stir-fried onions, but onions stir-fried with a little bit of vinegar.
What is the red one?
Yeah,
I don't like red onions.
No, it don't matter. No, it's the purple onions.
Yeah, it's the red ones. It's the same thing. Yeah, okay. I don't like. It's too tart for me. It's like bitter.
But dude, combine it with the mangú.
My mother, I did that with
Well, to each his own, man. Like if you don't like it that way,
no. But I'm saying we used to They used to do that when they used to cut up the salchichon and put the onions in there.
Mm.
And I was
But that's
Just give
salchichon
me-
and salami, by the
yeah,
way.
salami. Just give me a piece of that. Fry that with some cheese and some eggs, and I'm good.
Look, however you want to prepare that thing good.
Everything's good.
That thing is good. That thing
But
good.
we needed to give that man some pernito.
Oh, he had them.
With
The
the crispy-
chicharrón. He
No,
got the
but
chicharrón.
you gotta get the whole pernil, and then you get that hard skin on the top.
Look, I know if they treated that man well in DR, I know he went out with gusto. He got himself some in terms of the food. He got himself some, and I think he like I'm just counting the days when I gotta go back to that DR.
You know what? I might not even leave. Family, come over here.
He'd be like, "How much a house is over here? I need a beach property."
You be fine.
You know, I'll be like, "Oh, we do.
He can afford it.
Easily." Like, you know how cheap how dirt cheap our houses are there compared to our dollars and cents. Like put it in American money. Like for DR people, it's kind of hard to get a good house. But if you making your money here in the States, oh Lord, it's a cakewalk over there. It's a cakewalk. Like, and you can get a good house, relatively cheap, and in a good spot if you got the monies. If you got the monies, I mean, compared in dollars, you can get a good spot over there. So if you want to like have a retirement plan,
Put me next to the baseball players.
like you want to have a retirement plan, it's like pick wherever. Like my dream is go and live in Jarabacoa. That's my dream. Jarabacoa is in the mountaintops. Ooh, Lord,
You just want to get away from everything.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Like I'm an introvert. You want to know my favorite place is? Home. That's my favorite spot. Home.
And for me to be here,
Home. Home. That's my favorite spot. Like
he
like,
really likes me.
I'm like it's easy to see me in the wild than Bigfoot. That's basically it. It's easy to see. It's easy. No. I reverse that. It's easy to see Bigfoot out in the wild than me. Like you see you ain't got more chances to see Bigfoot riding a unicorn on a rainbow than you see me in the streets.
Unless I drag you out.
Yeah. Because there's only a few reasons I go outside. Like if I got to walk, do exercise, I got a doctor's appointment, church, which that's basically why I go outside.
99.9%.
Yeah, like that I will go outside because I'm like, can y'all make a church in here? No, y'all don't fit in here? Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to go over there then.
You can put some balcony.
We can make y'all fit. We'll find some space. What about where the instruments are gonna go? We'll talk about that later.
We got one there. We got mics here.
We'll push it around. I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out how it is. We'll figure it out. Let's keep it in the wrestling business. We were talking about this before technical difficulties. About a spot that happened this past week on competition in AEW, and this was gnarly. I mean, look, we've poo-pooed over AEW enough, and this is not meant to be poo-pooed on AEW per se. This is more like the mentality of why. The spot in question was Jon Moxley taking a suplex on top of a board littered with nails. And we're not talking about nails like itty bitty. No, we're talking about like this long nails, like this long. And about 80% of those nails were lodged into that man's backside. And I don't mean the lower back. I'm talking about the upper middle section. And it was a sight to behold in the worst of ways. Like I'm talking about a guy. You're talking about a guy who saw the Sid Vicious leg break back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was not for the squeamish.
Watching poor Mankind be thrown off.
Yeah,
the cage.
I've seen Mankind Mankind
chokeslam,
basically the human crash test dummy.
A reversal through the cage into the ring, and that broke.
Look, if you find ways a human being tortured and still walk it off, that's mankind. That's Mick Foley.
That's Mick Foley for
Yeah,
you.
but John Moxley was he did a little of a hold my beer moment.
And I don't think he's drinking that beer right now.
Yeah, that thing got lodged in his back, and those nails, I said, they're older than the time of Christ. they look like they've been around the block for a minute. Like they don't look like they were made in the 2000s.
They were brand new, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, dude, those things look like they seen some life. Some sort of evolution.
Do you think they took a wall off in the back and be like, "Yo, we need all these nails"?
We're like, can you find prehistoric ones? Residuals from the time of the Caesars? Preferably ones that were using crucifixions.
Yeah.
Because dang. And then like at least that guy has some tetanus shots afterwards. Hope to God he did.
Those were brand new nails. He didn't need it.
Brand new nail my behind. My Aunt Petunia.
Just hope he didn't punch her along or hit her.
Oh Lord! And no,
I know you said he was.
That's what he said. I don't mean it as a joke either, but that's what he said.
I don't think he's fine.
Look, it took a while to dislodge those things out of his back. It took a minute. It took more than a minute.
I believe it.
And the worst thing is that they showed it on live TV, them trying to pull that thing out. And you saw it and you just saw the skin like, It was like, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram right when he went on it, and he was like,
he won't. That was no selling. That wasn't selling.
I was like, okay, I'm done.
That wasn't selling. That man woke up at that moment. They're like, oh, this is real. This is real. This is real.
And he's like, what did I agree to do this?
Like yeah, I'm gonna feel this in the morning. Like you feeling it right now. You're feeling it right this minute. Like that hurt. It hurt me, and I didn't touch those nails. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like, I would imagine how the conversation went. Like, so Edge, you gonna suplex me on that thing? And Edge was like, I beg your pardon. I won't take that suplex there. Like,
I don't.
You're gonna land.
I like you.
You're gonna land on the wood part, right? You're gonna no. I'm gonna land on the nails. I'm like, can you run that by me again? How that gonna make any sense? Like, do you want to die? Do you want to perforate a lung? Among other things, among other organs.
Do you realize that if he landed on the side or any lower,
dude, we're
probably not talking about this.
No, we probably been talking about this, but in a darker sense.
I know there are professionals, and probably maybe one of the few in the AEW locker room that he would have let him suplex him in, because it had to be perfectly done. Because that lower back, if he gets into that lower back, it's done. Like, you're done.
Yeah, like you know how many vital organs are down there. Vital
kidneys, your intestines, your stomach. If we landed on the side, or if Edge slipped.
I think that the aim was to hit him like in the shoulder blades. Yeah. I think that was what they were aiming for.
Yeah, which they kind of got.
Yeah, but like 30% of it. The other percent of it was like in the middle back.
Yeah, but if he would have got it on his lower back,
he's cooked. He's done.
Because you got your rib cage here.
Yeah.
So it's like
everything from here down
is all you're exposed.
You're done. You're done. It's Dunville.
So yeah. Let's just say,
like, he literally skipped from the skin of his teeth. Literally.
We on AEW, but that was a dumb move. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, did it get the attention? Yes.
Yeah, but is it gonna get you?
But is it worth getting attention by sacrificing your world champion, so to speak? I mean, I would imagine that was his call. I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not in the booking committee of AEW, if there even is one. But I would imagine that was his call, and Edge probably co-signed it. I'm sorry, Cope.
No,
That's his name now, Cope.
His name is Edge.
Hey, mama named him Edge. I'll call him Edge.
Like it's like the new Tappan Zee Bridge. What they call it?
No, it's Mario.
It's
they want to call him Mario Cuomo.
It never ever is gonna.
We're kind of dating, showing where we're living.
No, we're not showing anything. We can cross it.
Yeah, In and Out.
In and Out Burger. That's where we're at.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, his name is Edge.
That
but
pizza was truth,
like you said, huh?
Pizza was good. I just remember it now.
Lunch was good, yes. But that was a dumb move because, like I mentioned before, God forbid Edge slips or he doesn't pick him up at the right time or whatever. Like, yes, you want the attention, you want all that. At the end of the day, you want your performers, your entertainers, to walk out of the arena on their own power, not in an ambulance, not in a no. You want them to walk out 2 feet on the ground so they can perform the next day or whenever the next performance is. That was a dumb move.
An unnecessary one. Like, okay, you got the attention, you got the whole world talking. We're talking about it,
but still, that.
Now, I want to pause there, and actually, because I feel like maybe even rightfully so, we're giving a lot of flack to AEW because unfortunately not everything has been a hit. Most of it been misses. But I am going to give some flowers to AEW in one sense. They're building up a few people in the women's division. There's this wrestler, Mariah May. She's Australian. She recently had a match with Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, in WWE. Sasha did not put her over. I don't know why, even though they were wrestling in her hometown in Australia. That was like a month ago. In my opinion, Mariah May should have been put over, but that's neither here or there. That's their decision or Sasha's.
Maybe Vince is working for them. Anyway,
but the thing is that she is becoming one of the most entertaining things in AEW as of late, because this girl can practically do anything. Like, she can rap, she can sing, and she's white as heck. She's white as heck.
Yeah, but these Australian girls, they can rap.
Look, she can rap like Busta Rhymes rap.
Damn.
That level.
That's speed.
Exactly, Busta Rhymes level. She can rap. She can sing. She's a good singer. She's a ventriloquist.
Okay.
And she can wrestle her little heart out. And she's also not easy in the eyes. She's also easy in the eyes. So we're talking about like a multiple threat level of talent here.
Yeah, she'd be in WWE soon. Anyway.
So she kudos to that. Also, another Australian wrestler, Tony Storm, or Timeless Tony Storm, does the best freaking gimmick in the last I don't know how many years. Like, that woman, because her gimmick is that she has reverted into an old 1950s movie star, and she talks like an old timey movie star, but even cusses like in today's. So she uses this weird Hollywood accent from the 1950s, what you're supposed to understand, like a European person talks like in the 1950s and in the old Hollywood timey days. But yet she cusses like she's in the 2020s, and it's so freaking funny. Her character's just so freaking funny because it's so unironically like the matchup. It shouldn't gel. It shouldn't work, but she makes it work. She makes it work. So, contrary to me poo-pooing over AEW like I normally do, I'm gonna give AEW flowers on that end, and I'm gonna give my flowers to those two ladies, Mariah May and Tony Storm. Although Tony Storm has been doing this for a minute now, over a year, she's having this character. But Mariah May, she just has a couple of months now doing this gimmick where she's just showcasing all her freaking talents, and I just wish them the best. And if WWE doesn't snatch it, good. I just want them to do good. I just want them, and even everybody in AEW, like your boss is like, you know, those hatred that people have towards bosses, like you know, certain people had it against George Steinbrenner back in the day. They believed that he practically was the Antichrist for some reason, and not knowing some of the stuff that he actually did behind the
he
scenes.
did a lot of good stuff.
Exactly. So you can hate the boss, but you don't have to hate the talent. Like that's not their issue. They're trying to get their bread, like everybody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, you couldn't say WWE didn't have the talent when Vince was running it.
Yeah,
It's just Vince didn't. He just didn't do it correctly.
Yeah, he just going on the old reliable route.
So the storytelling is really what to blame for, probably AEW.
The booking,
because you got talent. They became wrestlers for a reason, and a few of them actually came from WWE. So you have the talent. Just
do it better.
Do better.
Do it better. Do it better. That would be it. But I will give them props where they deserve, and in this case of these two that I just mentioned, props duly noted, duly mentioned, and I will be it would be bad on my end not to mention it and not just say this and that about AEW. Like if we're gonna take about just the bad stuff, we got to talk about the good stuff too. So that is positive stuff on AEW's end. Keep building on those two ladies. Although with Toni Storm, she's already the women's champion, so just keep her doing her thing. Help her keep on doing her thing. With Mariah May, help her develop more her character and keep giving her a little bit more spotlight. Maybe you think she's a little too, still a little too green in the behind the ears, or a little wet behind the ears, or whatever. But that girl, I'm telling you, she's a talent. She's a fierce talent, something to behold. And you get a rare quality. I mean, AEW has had a very weird period that they just had like some of the best female wrestlers. Like they had Jade Cargill. And by the way, Mark Henry discovered her. And he talked about that in the podcast. Again, Polemica podcast, another shout out for you right there. In that podcast, he was talking about that how he discovered Jade Cargill, and he was the one that brought her into AEW back when Mark Henry was working in AEW. And he told the story that he had a guy test her, and he said that the guy, up to the limits that he was allowed for females, really tested her, and even started hitting her. Like because he was like, I don't want, like, because the thing is, she's married to a baseball player, so she's already set for life in terms of money. She's already set for life, and so he was like, I need to see if this girl's is serious, because this lifestyle, wrestling lifestyle, is not for the weak at heart. You got to be tough to do this because you got to really love it.
Yeah.
So he was like, he told the dude, like, I want you to test this woman because I don't want to waste my time with somebody who's just going to be a prima donna. So he said that the guy called him back and told him, where you get this girl? Where you got her from? Like, what do you mean? Like, dude, I hit her as strong as I could hit a woman without getting sued, without getting into any legal problems. And she just looked at me, smiled at me, and was, is that the best you got? Oh, he was like, oh, we're keeping her. We're keeping her. We're keeping her. Because that's your tail end sign right there. That this one is a keeper. That this one is a trooper, because that you gotta love pain. In this business, you gotta love pain. Pain is 24/7. You live with pain. So another shout out there to Polemica Podcast. You guys rock. You guys are doing the Lord's work there in DR. I even had podcasts talking about Ric Flair. Now you know that would have been entertaining subject, especially the lore that Ric Flair has in DR. DR, like Ric Flair in DR is like a god. It's like the stuff of legends. The history of Ric Flair and DR is it goes without saying. And we also got to thank Ric Flair because he made our boy Jack Veneno. I'm sorry, Jack Veneno fans. If you're getting angry at me, don't at me. But he made Jack Veneno. He made him because everybody know who. Like the reason why gringos even recognize the name Jack Veneno. I heard of that name before. Yeah, because he wrestled Ric Flair. I mean, Ric Flair made that dude. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true. If Ric Flair didn't do the honors and didn't take that L, we wouldn't know. Outside of DR, nobody would know who Jack Veneno was. Outside of DR. Now, in DR, regardless of the Ric Flair thing, everybody know who Jack Veneno is. Regardless of the Ric Flair thing. The Ric Flair thing is just like the hilltop. The hilltop of the mountain. The frosted top, top of the mountain that everybody knows about. But then you got the rest of the mountain, which is the legend of Jack Veneno. That everybody in DR knows. Everybody that's my age, like the youngsters, they didn't even know who the Jack Veneno is. But anybody around my age or older, they know who Jack Veneno is. So shout out to Polemica Podcast again. We're gonna have to do a cooperation here, like with them.
I don't talk Spanish, though. I was like,
no, they talk English. I mean, Dominican English, but they'll talk English. They'll talk English. So, anyways, you got something else?
No, I was just making sure the thing was on.
Yeah, because we'd be having some technical difficulties here.
I mean, that's pretty much for wrestling until WrestleMania comes out.
Yeah, I mean, this like I said earlier, I think we said it before. Technical difficulties. All the ducks are lining up right now. We're getting all the duckies in a row.
Yeah.
So every storyline is now heading in one direction. Not the band. Not the band. Definitely not the band.
Well, they can't even become the band.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway.
Well, one of them passed away.
Who? You gotta go there?
Anyway,
you gotta go there?
No, listen. I'll end it on a good note.
The one that goes on the downer. No, you just took my spot. You just took my gimmick.
Anyway, baseball starting this week. Wednesday is opening day, even though the Dodgers and the Cubs played in Japan.
Yeah,
but
that don't count.
But baseball starts Wednesday. If you're a Yankee fan, you gotta listen to Joe Buck, which we all hate. ESPN, 3 p.m. I hate him. That dude is like so anti-Yankee, and I'm not gonna get into it because we'll go for another 45 minutes easily talking about how much I hate Joe Buck.
Let it out.
I'm gonna let it out. 2K25 or 24, chop.
Gunther's just gonna be looking at him, but here I come, boy. Here I come. Get that chest ready. I'm gonna get grinding meat ready.
You feel anything? You still feel it? All right.
Like, wait, let me get you up again. Like, there you go. He's just like planting hand chops on that grind. you atheist, you won't about to meet Jesus now. You're gonna find out if there's an eternal life. You're about to find out.
There's not gonna be no tapping this time.
It's him like, well, mommy. No, you don't believe no mommy. We ain't done yet. Not for a long shot.
On that note.
Now I return back to now the balance has been restored.
Baseball starting Wednesday. If you enjoy baseball, there you go. Welcome back. This is the last Sunday that we're gonna be without baseball until October.
Yeah, because baseball is basically almost a year-round event. Like 80% of the year,
from late March to October.
And then when postseason, it's November till November.
No, that's October.
In November, I mean,
they usually end in October.
Dude, World Series ends like at beginning of November.
But it typically, depending on how long the season takes, and when they begin. So right now they're looking
the last 5 years has been ending in November.
But the way looks like it's set up. It's going to be playoffs in October, and then probably like the last week they're going to, because basketball and hockey starts, so they don't want to get into that because they lose viewers. Hockey, no, basketball starts usually like a week or two before Halloween.
Yeah.
And hockey doesn't, I think, starts like a week after, so they don't want to lose the viewership.
Yeah,
on
but
that.
that's a weird setup. How hockey and basketball are like sharing,
and they're pretty much the same, like
basically the same season.
game-wise,
Yeah, it's a weird mix up of how they have to schedule like sharing the arena and whatnot.
I mean, what's not better, having Yankee baseball and Nick basketball, and that's great.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching and listening. Hopefully
This one works.
Yeah, hopefully the technical difficulties here be obeying. Like, dang. So we gotta have to talk. La lavamos corriemos.
Even though they can't hear it.
Yeah. So thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe to the YouTube channels. Leave a comment, a like. Also follow us on social media. Husky Babu, yeah.
Husky Babu Media.
Husky Babu Media. Also, our website, huskybabupod.com. Our social medias, that Ariel Duran and Johnny Boy 426. If you get mine, you're just gonna get a bunch of Bible texts lately because that's where my mind been lately.
And you're walking.
Oh yeah, that's my proof of life videos.
And your proof of life picture usually,
usually
once a week. I mean,
I don't do those much because I'm like, other than my wife, I think people get tired of seeing my mug. Other than my wife.
I don't mind looking at it. I mean, I text you every day, so it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but there's no face involved. Anyway.
FaceTime.
Yeah. Weird stuff. See, we gotta stop it now because we're gonna go in a dark tangent now.
Have a good weekend.
TeePublic.
Store.
Yeah, TeePublic.
I should have worn mine today.
TeePublic store, always like a 35% off. You can get this T-shirt among other stuff as well, stickers, baseball caps.
Oh, I added the new sticker to my laptop.
Oh yeah, there you go. Stickers, hoodies. I mean, hoodie season is almost over, but you can T-shirts up season about to begin again. And these tees are always like, if you get them on the discounts, you can get them at like for $15.
$15-$16, yeah.
Yeah, not including shipping. Anyway.
Well, if you spend over 60, I mean, get that kind of merch, you get free shipping.
I mean, just give us love. Just give us love.
Don't ask why the Reverend has a nice car.
Got to buy a nice house. Has a nice house. Don't ask. Don't ask. I don't ask. No questions.
Just give me the money.
Give us the money.
At that point, have a good week, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.